Good morning. Students' engagement is one of the most important topics for every single teacher on the globe. This topic has been discussed many times among the teachers, and every teachers try to put some input and try to make contribution um, to put students as center in his classroom and allows them to be more active participant in the process of learning by itself. Students' engagement as concept is released, based on the traditional education system, whereas the teacher is the main actor and as well students, coming to listen mostly and to not take, active part in the classroom. So we cannot make any more makeup for this, for this approach to make students more engaged in the classroom. However, so we need to make shift. So I am talking today to make paradigm shift to see what is beyond students' engagement and how to allow and make students more active and proactive members in terms of learning process and education and education systems. One of these concepts has been taken from marketing, marketing approach or marketing background. This is called partnership. So, so beyond the students' engagement, I would say it's a partnership. How to make students as active partner with you. So we could adapt this from, as I said, from marketing point of view. If we would say the teacher is a service provider, so I would say students not as a client, but as a partner. So if we look to this relationship from this perspective, a lot of stuff might be changed around us, and the students automatically can be active member in the classroom. So the new concept today is beyond students' engagement. Is what I'm saying is a partnership. Partnership. So I have for you three items today, three main components, how to apply a partnership between teacher and students in the learning process in general and as well in educational process in the classroom specifically. So I would say here our paradigm shift today is from students' engagement to inspire students through partnership. So it was in the old traditional education system, we are talking about students' engagement. It's moved forward to inspire your students and help allow them somehow to discover their own potential. And now we are going to make students as partner in the classroom and as well as active member in the classroom. So first message for us today is autonomy. So autonomy, as you see here, has a lot to do with considering, individuals around you as unique character and as other point of view should be respected and as well involved actively in the process of education and learning. So if we look of autonomy, so one of the idea is giving, it's from giving responsibility to give a rule already, to give like students who would say in the classroom playing rule. So at the beginning of your classroom, so you define the main characters of your students and give them short and long-term tasks and assignments to be done during your classroom. So when you enter your classroom, you don't treat students as students anymore. You treat them as members, as teamwork in your classroom. So they take active part and they do their own task. This task can be involved in the topic by itself, the topic of the classroom, or can be taken as the management task or organizational task or whatever you can define based on students, capacity and competencies. So if you come back to the portfolio, when you define the portfolio of students and students write their own skills, you can, as a teacher, give them the rule based on their capacity and based on their, interest. So this is, we would say always, um, it's nice to make topic interesting, but it's more interesting to put the topic or match the topic to students' interest. So this is the shift paradigm we do today. So to keep autonomy, to help students, autonomy is to give the rules in the beginning of the classroom. And it wouldn't happen unless you take care of choices. So provide many choices for students, be liberal in the classroom, define or present the many rules in the classroom. We need a person responsible about this, we need person who care about that, and then allow students to take their rules as well and to be responsible at the front of everybody to achieve this task. A sort of freedom environment and commitment allow students to commit with the task and as well help them to support their autonomy and as well allow them to do the task their own way. This helps somehow the ideas of students' autonomy. A second point as well, realizing differentiation and team building. So if you change the point of view from being a teacher center classroom to being student centered classroom, is to allow students to say um, their own opinion and as well realize that students are different capacities, they have different attitude, and as well they came from different culture and background, they have different thinking pattern as well. Nobody is stupid. The idea is that is everybody is smart and intelligent but in different way, and your role as a teacher is to discover this and to employ them based on their capacities or their pattern of thinking. If you will be succeeded to give every single student in your classroom a assignment and to be a partner to the classroom tasks, you will be succeeded as a teacher and as well allow students to be more active. So it doesn't make sense to make up the traditional classroom students engagement, try to make stuff interesting to students pay attention, rather than you go to students and you match students' interest. You employ students at the concrete rules in the classroom defined by you at the beginning, and students can commit to this task to be achieved. So second point, which is important as well, relationship. We call it relatedness or relationship. It wouldn't be the learning wouldn't be happen unless you make successful relationship with your partner. I wouldn't say students anymore in this lecture. I would say with your learning or teaching partners. And there is such proverb that students learn more from those who like. From those who like. That means if students has a positive attitude towards you as character, as person, your way of communication, your way of connection, help and support students. Students are more likely to be engaged automatically. I wouldn't be to be engaged, but to take the rules and as well to be actively taking part in your in the learning process. Let us say. So One of these ideas is we have some principles in order to strengthen relationship with your partners, with your students, partner. So I would say it changed the way that you communicate with students, and there is a new approach, an innovative approach called nonviolent communication for Marshall Rosenberg. He created the way you can focus, express your feeling, and focus on your needs, and matching the needs with your partners. This is a successful way of communication, and this is aggression free. So if we are willing to make successful relation with our students, so please have pay attention and read more about nonviolent communication and how to apply in the classroom as well. It's a beneficial way to make successful relationship with your students. It starts from communication. It starts from the way of communication, accepting the other, matching the needs, expressing the feeling, and say the clear request. So accept and respect. It wouldn't happen any collaboration between two parties unless there is respect. There is framework of collaboration as well exist on the table, and this is might help as well to make successful relationship. Vulnerability, and we have talking about vulnerability um, before with one lecture before, how to admit with your mistake and how to express the feeling in the time of uncertainty as well. This is as well tool and adjective for leadership. Trust. Trust as well. It's like as we said before, like marble jar. Whenever whoever did for you something good or any favor, you put one marble. And the more marbles you have in the jar, more trust you have towards this person. So if you do your job from heart and you give from heart as a teacher, students would feel it and would feel that you really do a great job and you really need good for them, and they will follow up and they will trust you. They'll trust you after a while when you give. So the power of giving, this is might make sense here. So give more. If you want to take from them more, you have to first to give them more. So allow them to see that you are giving more, and you are harder worker they ever seen. So if you allow them to see and realize and experience all of this, they are might increase their trust towards you. So, as we said, the new rules now and shift paradigm we need to do in this lecture is teacher as a service provider, students as a partner. And we need to think about how to change our thinking of knowledge, security, adaptability. So we need these three stuff. This is from marketing law. So if you would like to make this partnership between you and your students, you have to think about how to increase the knowledge, employ the knowledge, enhance security level between you and in learning and teaching atmosphere in general, and allow students to be adaptable, increase adaptability as characteristic for changing situation as well. So if we deal or if we see the classroom management as a business, so it would change our mentality, or it wouldn't make shift paradigm to how we see students as partner, not as students anymore, as partner, and how to make successful relationship for both partners in this relation, for teachers and students, and allow students to be more active and taking, uh, or being proactive in this relation. In this. So, last thing in this lecture, I would focus about competencies. So the output of our learning or of our teaching is to increase or to build up skills in your students, and it wouldn't happen every teacher has no, like magic stick to make directly or to build up skills directly. You, as a teacher, need to have perspective and technique how to build up competencies in your students. One of these ideas here make it meaningful. Sometimes we ask students to do things, but we never say to them why. Simon Sin, Simon Sinek, this is one author as well who's talking about leadership. He always about start with why. Start with why. And why ask always about the value. So when you ask students to do something, please describe for them why they have to do this. Why? Give them the value behind this. So if students, for example, reach the value of what he is doing, has something probably beneficial for him, or has good result for him later, he probably would think twice to do it based on belief, not based on compliance, or just you follow up and you push them to do so, and he just you know follow the rules, but he do it based on his own belief, that he believes that there is something behind it, there is some benefit I could reach behind this. This is important as well. As we described before in portfolio lecture, sometimes a manager asks teacher to make lesson plan, and teacher doesn't know why I should make lesson plan. So teacher do it because manager want it. So uh, it's like follow up the task coming from management without knowing what's benefit comes from it. But if you ask teacher to make portfolio, and from this portfolio teacher knows that he document all of his teaching activities for later, benefits. And by the way, he put inside it the lesson plan in a way it's included. So in that way, teacher knows the value behind lesson plan. So the idea is not to ask and not to order or request from your members team to do anything without knowing value. So the value has to be taken into consideration. And try to, when you teach a student something, or you want to build up their competencies, their skills, try to connect it with barrier knowledge. And this is important to know the culture of students, the culture of target group, the background of your target group, in order to connect these new skills with the previous one. Feedback, and I would say constructive feedback, and it's very important as well to build the competencies. Sometimes students need feedback, and the main rule, I would say, the main rule for teacher in the classroom is giving constructive feedback. Allow students to do mistake, allow students to learn by themselves, allow students to take attempt and take the advantage of every single resources in the classroom, and give them feedback, constructive feedback, sometimes tough feedback to learn and to allow them to grow up. So this is what we need. It's not teaching anymore, it's coming from students. So students do stuff by themselves, take the rules that you're giving to them, and then your rule towards the rule is giving a feedback. So feedback is pretty much important in the classroom as a rule of teacher as well, to correct, modify, um, uh, um, allow students to learn more about their rules. Showing real examples of peers, and this is what we're missing sometimes. The students cannot believe sometimes in themselves, but if you start presenting previous work from peer, like them already done the same work in a beautiful way, in a professional way, the students are more likely to believe with themselves and to know that it's okay, it's possible to do so. So keep in mind as well, in order to build the competencies, you need always to connect with value, you need always to give feedback, and don't forget to present something already done by the same group, previous group, the same partners like them, they did the work without any problem. So, as a conclusion of this lecture, it's clear that if you want to make students more active and coming to your classroom and be proactive in your learning process, we need to change the perspective. We need to change the point of view from being teacher and the students engagement, from being partners together and students as partner, as active partner in the classroom through autonomy, change relationship and build up the competencies. We need to take some actions here. Call for inspiring students through partnership. For example, we need policy and the pedagogy for partnership, like value, for example, students to take part in department meeting, for example, know exactly about designing curriculum or be involved in curriculum design in a way that they can reach as well, they can get benefit for themselves as well, to not push students for extra rules without having any benefit from this. So we need to think about approaches to involve students more and more as partnership in this process as well. New rules for students in the classroom. As I said in the beginning, at the beginning, you come to the classroom and you define some rules as classroom management and some rules for learning, some rules for teaching, for discussion, for whatever, and allow students to take part and be responsible for organizing all of these activities in the classroom. They will be more active automatically because you give them rule, you treat them as partners in the classroom. I provide for you here some ideas as well. Might be help students as classroom project partner, as I said. So you have classroom management and allow students to or deal with it as a project completely, or teaching as a project, which includes many partners, teamwork, and students as your teamwork, everybody responsible for something in the classroom to be done, to be organized, to be managed, and as well learning together somehow. There is as well approach in teaching called the project-based learning, when the teaching process or the teaching method can be done as a project, and this might help as well to for every students to take active part in this process. Students as co-teacher allow students to teach something, for example, for their partners, and there is approach in teaching as well called peer teaching. Students can better learn from their colleagues than from you as a teacher because they have the same background, they are close, similar mentalities, similar, not mentalities, but similar, background, similar interest probably. So they are more likely to learn from each other than from teachers. So this is when you make students as co-teachers, students as co-assessor as well. Um, Allow students to be involved in evaluation mode. Maybe they can do together, make brainstorm and discuss the way they can evaluate themselves. We said as well before about portfolio ideas and how it can be successful tool for students themselves to evaluate themselves by themselves. And this as well, we need to think, and every teacher has a space and can be creative enough to create his own way and to share with us probably. The students as a classroom co-manager, as I said, take part in classroom managing, for organizing stuff, for managing stuff, for teaching as well. All of this can be done, and every teacher can see it differently, and this is plus as well. Everybody has imagination. How can employ this in his classroom? So the question of this lecture, and it would be nice if you share the answer with me, is what practices you plan to engage your students through partnership? If you have a clear plan, if you did something before and it worked with your students, please share it with us. Thank you very much.